Hey guys, another week has come and gone, and it is absolutely positively Sunday. And that means it's time for the Sci-Fi Sideshow here on B-Movie TV. And tonight, we have a post-apocalyptic movie of epic proportions. It has a lot of women. And when I say a lot of women, I mean more than a busload. A lot of women. It is from 1988, and it is called She-Wolves of the Wasteland. Now, it went by another name called Phoenix the Warrior, and I don't know which one came first. If it was Phoenix the Warrior, then they changed it, or vice versa, I don't know. But it was She-Wolves of the Wasteland, or Phoenix the Warrior. There's two women in it that I recognize right off the bat. The rest of the women, I don't know if they're models, porn stars from the day, I don't know, but I don't recognize any of them but the first two, or these two that I'm going to, give to you. The first one is Persis Khambatta. I don't know if I said that right, but she's well known for being in Star Trek the Motion Picture. You'll all be like, oh yeah. Yeah, she was in Star Trek the Motion Picture. She was also in Megaforce, and she was in a great Sylvester Stallone movie called Nighthawks. I know most of you probably seen Nighthawks. I know most of you probably love Nighthawks. So she was in that movie. The other actress was Kathleen Kinmont, and she was in Halloween 4. And she was also in one of my favorites, not the best one, but I like it nonetheless, Bride of Reanimator. And she was also in two TV shows. One was Renegade, which you all know, Lorenzo Lamas, Renegade, and Silk Stocking. Those are two shows from back in the day where, during the heights of syndication. Now we have streaming, back then we had syndication. If your show got on syndication, you made a lot of money. And those two shows were on in the evening time. So, I'm sure you're all familiar with that. So, this movie, like I said, is post-apocalyptic. It has boobs. Lots of boobs. So, if you're offended by boobs, don't want to watch this movie. It also has gunfights, physical fights, and some weird person who's in control of all the sperm. Yes, control of all the sperm. You're probably thinking, what in the world? Did he smoke a joint? Nope, you'll see. So without further ado, just sit back and enjoy She-Wolves of the Wasteland. And we'll be back later, and we will ramble. Or I will ramble, and you'll sit and listen. Thank you. Go on. So how did you guys enjoy that movie? I liked it. It wasn't half bad. I've seen better, but like I said, it wasn't half bad. Some of the things I did like about it, I liked the Phoenix character. She was a badass, but she, had her ups and downs too. Now, I don't mean ups and downs like, oh, that was good, that was bad. She wasn't like the uber hero. She got captured. She wasn't like, I'm Stallone and nothing's going to hurt me. So I liked the way her character was designed there. Her introduction was awesome. She's walking along, minding her own business, enjoying her apple. She hears screaming. Two ladies are trying to kidnap a third. What does she do? She throws her apple up in the air, gets them to look, blows them away, catches her apple, continues eating it. Come on now. That is style right there. Style. So that was a good scene. And of course, because I'm a man, and inside every man there's usually a boy hiding. I like the scene where they were bathing. The waterfall, the stretching, really showing them boobs. Yes, boobs. So that was a good scene. I like the fighting scenes were okay. I prefer the gunplay, because gunplay seems like, I don't know, I don't make movies, I'm not a director, I don't do any of that kind of stuff, so I could be talking out of my ass here, but it just seems like physical fighting can either be good or it's bad. But gunplay is not that hard to do because there's no physical contact. Doesn't look weak. So the gunplay for me was really good. I didn't like the pit fighting scene. And why didn't I like the pit fighting scene? Because the hand-to-hand for me wasn't that good. And it was a little lackluster. They should have brought in some more extras to make it look more populated. They didn't have to go all out like Thunderdome, have people hanging off everywhere, but should have been a little more lively. I also, there was a grenade scene. You probably remember that towards the end there. Where they threw they killed that lady with the grenade. They went and hid behind. They weren't that far from her either. That was a terrible grenade explosion. The explosion at the beginning when the woman was playing the music box, that was an explosion. this grenade explosion was just bad. No, they should have gave it a little more oomph. But what am I, I'm no critic, so to each their own. But it wasn't a bad movie. I didn't have too much of a problem with it. There wasn't a lot of memorable scenes for me. But it was a weird concept. Now the bad guy, the main baddie, I liked the way she looked. All that makeup and wires. It's a little odd that all they had to do was cut her wires to kill her. But that was a really good, I liked the way she looked. She was a pretty good looking bad guy. I have a thing about bad guys. If they don't look just right, it doesn't work for me. Really for me personally. So, I liked the way she looked. But other than that, there wasn't much in this movie in the way of exciting, I'll remember that forever, except for like Phoenix and, chicks bathing. That's probably the only things that are memorable for me. That and the whole thing with the sperm. It's like, But, maybe you enjoyed it. Like I said, it wasn't bad. Just wasn't as good as, I would hoped it would have been. But I did like Kambata. She's a good actress. It's a shame that she died at such an early age. And, she's a great actress. And even her parts, I'm not even going to say anything bad about it because for what the movie was, she did a really good job. So with that being said, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the movie. I have two random videos this week, too. The first one, I lost my grandfather 2 years ago, and I still haven't dealt with it yet, gotten over it yet. It's really hard. But I remember sitting around and watching TV with him every summer, and it was wonderful, and I had a good time. So this first random video is a theme to a TV show, and I dedicate it to my grandfather and to all the grandfathers out there who introduced their kids to awesome TV shows. And then the second one, where you just have to stick around and see what the second one is. So until next time, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you next time.